Yo, what is going on, everybody? I've got an interesting episode here for you today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the little bit of AI I talked to you guys about, and also the Grizzlies updates. Hopefully, you guys enjoy just in general the business updates, what we're working on, what's going on. I enjoy talking about it, and also I just like to give some inside context and kind of what I'm thinking and where I'm at. So, if this is your first time listening, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're day one, I appreciate you guys too. My name's Colton. I'm the host of the Grizzly Life podcast. And I've got some interesting stuff for you today. I'm going to dabble a little bit more in the AI conversation on kind of how I like to use it and give you some more, pointers and tips. But then also, I want to talk to you about the carnivore diet. For those of you who are day ones or who have listened to a lot of episodes, you have probably heard me talk about the carnivore diet. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb here. Okay. So you've probably heard me talk about the carnivore diet. I was on the carnivore. For those of you listening, I was on the carnivore, I think since July of 24, or June of 24. And I'll give you guys a quick rundown on the carnivore diet. It is meat, eggs, salt, right? As much meat as you want. It's a high protein, high fat diet, no carbs, like literally no carbs. Now for me, I was still drinking beer, so like I had that on the weekends, but primarily I was carnivore. I'm not going around with a badge on my chest saying I'm a carnivore and I only believe in that. I wanted to try the carnivore, and the more I got into it, I do believe in it. I think it's a good solid diet, and I think it will kind of always be my foundation. Meat and eggs are my two favorite things regardless, so no matter what diet I'm on, I'm going to be very extremely high protein. Even to this day, I'm averaging 250 grams, maybe 300 grams of protein a day, and that's just what I do. So anyways, the carnivore diet, meat, eggs, salt. The benefits, this is kind of what got me into it. For me personally, when I was June of 24, or whatever I started, I was weighing in at like 190, 195. I wasn't happy with where I was at. I still felt like I could push people, I still felt, in quotations big, right? But in reality, I just had more body fat on me than I've ever had before. And that was a mix of a bunch of things. Poor diet, maybe exercise wasn't in check as much. I wasn't as dialed in as I am now. And, whatever. So the carnivore diet, what it allowed me to do was lose 30 pounds extremely quickly. I maintained muscle. I was still strong. I was tracking all that stuff as I was doing it. And so I dropped from like 195-ish all the way down to, I think the lowest I got was like 164 or something like that. So for me, big success. And then I just maintained that. Like, I never really had a time where I was like 175 again or anything. Like, I just stayed at a good healthy weight. For me, I still wanted to lose more body fat, and so that's basically where I've been at for like the last year and a half, 2 years. So that has caused me to want to experiment more, because I'm like, no matter how lean I eat, even when I cut out, alcohol or whatever, like I just went on a 4 weeks of no alcohol. I just, we all want results now. We all want to feel good now. So recently I've decided let's experiment a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into, just so you guys can kind of hear it. The carnivore diet, I do believe, is a good diet for just about anybody to try. If you have issues like RA, rheumatoid arthritis, or however you say that, RA, if you've got joint problems and inflammation, like the carnivore diet eliminates a lot of those issues. And there's a lot of studies out there that do that. For me, I've got lower back issues, and I've always had like wrist issues and all these other things. And so, interesting enough, the last couple of weeks I have not been a carnivore. I've been high protein, been mixing in carbs, introducing berries and some sweet potatoes and rice. That's about it. And I've noticed a little bit of inflammation. So now, I'm not going to get into the weeds too much, but there's a lot of bad carbs out there. Even your basic breads and stuff, you think your pizza, your toast, like everything's got like enriched flours and just this bad stuff that's not good for us. It's artificially sweetened this and flavored that, and so I try to eliminate all that. So I'll stop beating around the bush here. If you want a challenge, if you want to reset your body, if you want to like really go all in on something and just try something new, I think the carnivore diet is where it's at. Do it for 30 days, cut out all the junk. The benefit to me was when I did it, I knew exactly what I could eat and what I could not eat. before I got on the carnivore diet, and even now that I'm off the carnivore diet, when I have the leniency, when I have the ableness to eat some carbs, my brain is now like, well, what's a couple M&Ms? What's a Kit Kat gonna do, right? Like, I get carb allowance, it's still a carb, right? Like, that's the easy way that my brain says it. So before I had such a strict diet, it was very difficult for me because I knew that I could eat pasta and chicken. I knew that I could eat, I didn't have enough restrictions. So for me, going extremely strict was what allowed us to dial it in and feel good. So again, I lost a lot of body fat very quickly. I became more mentally tough and disciplined. Inflammation was gone, sleep improved. Like, I had a lot of good things come of it. So for me, like I said, I did it for 2.5 years. It's still going to be kind of my baseline diet anyways. So I'm not going back and saying, oh, carbs are great for you, you should introduce carbs. My goal with carbs is to keep it very clean. Every morning I'm doing a berry shake. So I've got blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries, and or blackberries. Just like about a cup total of berries, half an avocado, 1 banana. I do a scoop of whey protein, a scoop of collagen, and that's like my morning shake after my workout. So good solid carbs there as far as like healthy goes. Obviously you can go very organic and get cleaner fruits and stuff, but right now that's where I'm at. And then my other carb choice of the day is usually like a white rice or like a sweet potato. You try to stay away from like fried things. The more deep fried items you get, for example, like at the restaurant, we do everything fried in beef tallow, which is a much healthier option to frying. But if you live off of fried foods, it's still obviously not optimal for us as humans, right? So anyways, I am now shifted to eating carbs, as I mentioned. What I have noticed in 2 weeks' time is a little bit of joint pain. My wrists have hurt a little bit more. I've had a little bit more back pain, and I'm not saying it's the carbs. Maybe it's my workouts. Maybe I'm going heavier. I definitely, I gained some weight. My muscles got some more glycogen in them. So I definitely look more full all the time. When you're on the carnivore diet, you kind of have more of that lean look. That's kind of what it's designed to do. I don't believe that you need carbs to live. I clearly proved that point. But so with the couple weeks of carbs that I've been on, muscles are more full. Maybe my recovery is a little bit better. I can lift a little bit heavier. I feel a little bit stronger, right? So I've got those benefits. But I have noticed a little bit more wrist pain. I have noticed a little bit more back pain, and I really had those issues for some time. So I will keep you guys updated as I kind of go through that journey. I just wanted to be honest and straightforward. If you see me out in public and you see me eating carbs, I don't want you to be like, oh, I thought you were a carnivore. It's like, hey, I was very strict carnivore. I still believe in carnivore. I just want to get some lower body fat and I want some muscle. So I'm going to try something new here. I like to be the human guinea pig. I like to try stuff out. Obviously that has some research behind it. I try out a bunch of peptides and GLP-1s. I'm willing to put my mouth where my money is, or put my money where my mouth is, whatever that saying is. So that's my update on my current diet and status. I will update you guys more as I get more into it and see how my body reacts over the next 90 days. See how my body changes. Hopefully we can lose some more body fat and just change it up. So AI, let's talk a little bit about it as I'm doing this little walk and talk. So on Tuesday you guys heard a little bit about how not to use AI or how to utilize it better. If you didn't listen to that episode, I don't know, go back and listen to it. I think we are using AI. AI is here regardless, right? That was my main point. You either figure out how to use it or you can be naive and ignorant and not use it. It's really your choice, but it's here regardless. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. It is similar to when internet came out. Now I'm not comparing it to the internet. Obviously I know there's, AI requires a lot of power. There's a lot of things. It's really smart. It's getting advanced. It's here. You might as well use it to your advantage versus your disadvantage. Now, I do not recommend using AI to type up everything that you have to write. With the AI world, a lot of people are going to use it that way. So I do strongly recommend you still need to sound like you. There's still going to be a point of like sounding like a human. That human touch is still going to be very important. But you can use AI many different ways. Like I said in the last episode, create projects within the AI tool that you're using. Just use ChatGPT for an example, because I feel like that's the most common. Create a project. Do not just use it as a chat search engine type thing like Google. Create a project and have some accountability there. The positive to having the project and like reporting back to this is it's basically just a journal. You can journal your ideas, you can journal your thoughts. When you set up your AI, what I do is I go into the settings and I toggle off basically the option to allow my conversations to be used to better AI. And why I do that, I don't want my information shared. I don't want it to be utilized essentially to make AI better. Everybody else can do that. I just want AI for my own well-being. So toggle that setting off, and then that'll kind of help protect some of the stuff that you talk about a little bit more. But create a project within ChatGPT. You'll find that on the left-hand side. You'll create a project and then just talk. And the nice thing is, this is going to be like a self-reflection tool, an accountability tool, an idea tracker. If you're anything like me, I like to think very big picture. I like to think hypothetically. I do not like to think small. I always like to be doing more, and I always try to figure out how can I become more productive. No matter what you do, whether you own your own business or you work for somebody else, you work with somebody else, you're retired, the more productive you can be, the more shit you can get done, the more you can accomplish, the better you feel, right? Like these are just all good things. The more valuable you can become at your job. Maybe you figure out how to implement AI for your position, and then you can take that to your boss. I'm not saying, here's how to replace me. I'm saying, look how much more valuable I just became because now I can automate this and I can actually do more. So I want you to think like that. How do I use this as a tool to put myself in a better position to win, right? I'm all about winning the day, winning the week, winning the year, being the best you can be. How can you position this to win? How can you position this to make you better, right? Like I mentioned last episode, the average AI tool, the way that you use it will make you, 20 to 30 IQ points smarter, which is a huge, huge, huge jump. So again, I recommend using it where you can. Do not use it to write every single essay, every single email, but you can use it to remove emotion. You have a situation going on. Maybe you're arguing with a spouse, right? We're all guilty of this. Getting in an argument with a spouse, a friend, a family member. Go to AI, tell it a story, and when you tell it, make sure you give it a little bit of insight. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you a situation, but I want you to look at it from the outside view. I want you to give me input on who's in the wrong and maybe what I could have done wrong. Like, you have to approach this right, and you have to set the AI tool up to win. If you go into this conversation and say, oh my gosh, me and my boyfriend got in a huge argument and I want you to tell me why I'm right and he's wrong, well, you just told it exactly how you want it to respond to you, so that's the way it's going to treat you. It's going to make sure that you are right and he is wrong. So that is not our goal here. So what I recommend doing is setting it up for success, talking to it, giving it some data, and you should be onto a better, logical situation than an emotional situation, right? I coach you on removing emotion as much as possible and think logically. Make logical decisions. Do not make decisions on the fly. Do not respond emotionally. Think logically. So anyways, create those projects and start, again, use this as a self-reflection tool. At the end of each day, talk to it, tell it your wins, tell it your losses, tell it what you want to be when you grow up, whatever it is, and have it coach you, have it track those ideas. Use it as an accountability tool, like I'm saying, and it will better you. I'm to the point where I spend hours every day talking and working with, and I want to say hours every day. Right now in my life, I am spending a lot of time building things out within AI to improve my productivity. I told you last episode, I use it to create documents that embrace our culture and our expectations to then go to our team and say, this is how we're going to do it. I shaved off hours of work making sure that it sounded like us and that we were getting our point across and all the good things. So you can save time too. Now, I'm not an advanced AI person. I'm not going to tell you how to build a website. There's tools for all of that. What I have gotten to doing is using multiple AI tools at once in a sense of when I build something out on ChatGPT, it's like getting an opinion from one person. It's great. It's always going to sound like ChatGPT. So what I'll do is I'll create the tool within AI, within ChatGPT. I will then ask it to summarize what we just talked about into a PDF document or a copy and paste document. And then I will also ask for the goal outcome. I will take both of those and I will go to a new AI tool and say, hey, this is what I just talked to you about with ChatGPT. I'd like you to review this and see where we're missing. So then I make it an even stronger document or argument or situation, or I get even better input and feedback because now I've got kind of two AI tools working to my advantage. Some AI tools are set up, and you'll have to do your own research. Again, this isn't something I'm an expert in. Some might be better at marketing. Some might be better at, research. Some might be better at like just quick responses and just giving you, they all have their strengths and their weaknesses. So that's why I like to kind of use multiple tools and bounce back and forth and just get the best well-rounded thing. So even when I'm creating my team document, I'll start that over in chat and create that there. I'll then copy and paste and move it over to a new AI tool. That way I'm well-rounded and I've got good information and we're moving in the right direction. So consider that as your AI tip of the day. Don't get, again, this is for the general user. ChatGPT is going to make you smarter. Go ahead and use it, but don't be stuck to just one. Be willing to, I'm not saying you have to be, again, an AI expert. I'm not saying you have to do research on this stuff, but be willing to like learn a new AI tool. They're all going to be generally the same, but some of them are getting more advanced faster, or they're going to be able to give you better insight for this or that. So if you're using AI, use it the right way. I'm sure I've got some more tips and tricks that I can share with you guys that I'm working on. Trying to think as I'm walking here. What else I'd like to... I have used it to build out basically every situation that I'm working on. So, for example, if I'm looking to buy a new house or a new business or build out a new system or an SOP, or I want to analyze a different software or whatever it is, I will create that as a project for the time being, and then I will review it with AI, and I'll say, hey, I'm looking at X, Y, and Z business. Here are the P&Ls that I got from this business. Can we please review these together and tell me what I'm not seeing or what questions I should follow up with? So now, instead of me being an emotional buyer and saying, oh my gosh, the P&Ls look great, I want to buy it now, I'm taking a little bit more time to analyze with a tool, with AI tool that can look at it much more logically than I can and uncover some things I'm not seeing. Now, I'm not saying AI is an attorney. I'm not saying it's an accountant, but it's pretty damn good. So when I look at buying a property, when I look at buying a business, you can use these AI tools and say, hey, I'm located in Berlin, Wisconsin. I'm looking at a single-family home with this many beds and baths. What research can you do in the area to tell me more? Like, is this a good price? Is this a good idea? Should I stop thinking about this, right? Like, think about using it that way. Another thing, when you use these AI tools, there are different settings within them that allow it to be a fast responder or to do like deep research, for example. So if you need some better research, if you need some better insight, maybe you want ChatGPT to like find every single public hiking trail in Wisconsin so you can make a bucket list of where you want to travel to, which again is a great tool, a great idea. You can have it do deep research. It'll take a little bit longer. It will find every public hiking trail, and you can even say, please organize it by how people rate them or leave reviews on Google or something, right? And it will say, here are the 5 best in Wisconsin, but here's a list of 100 of them, and I organize them by how I would do it, right? So again, this is just another simple tool. If you are trying to plan a family vacation, again, you can use this to the very basic things. You're trying to plan a family vacation. You're trying to find, I don't know, maybe direct flights from, airport to airport or whatever. You can use this to make things better. Like literally, if you wanted to go hiking more often, if you wanted to plan a like a hidden gem vacation, like, hey, we're traveling on a budget. I would like to fly out of Milwaukee or Appleton or Madison. Can you please tell me some easy places that's a one-stop flight that would be cost-effective for me and my family of 4, that is good for kids ages 6 to 12? Like, you can literally go to that level of organization and structure to have a better family vacation, to have some better ideas. Hey, I'm looking to do a road trip from Wisconsin to Kentucky where are 5 good places I could stop on the way to get my best bang for buck and like see awesome things and like really live the experience. I've got 6 days to do it. How should I go about it? Boom. It's going to give you something better than you spending fucking 6 hours on Google trying to find something, right? So I just want you to keep this in mind. The opportunities are endless. You don't just need to use it for this one thing. Use it as a learning tool. Set up a project that's called daily learning. Talk to it in that project and say, hey, I want to use this specific project to just learn more about everyday life, things that I'm seeing. For example, and this is me talking to ChatGPT right now, right? For example, I am currently walking and I see power lines and telephone poles and street signs and garbage cans and a dog fence and brick house and steel chain. Like, say all these things and say, these are just examples of things that I'm seeing right now, but I would like to learn more about them. How are these things made? Where are they manufactured? What is the purpose of this thing or that thing? I'm looking at this trampoline. I'm wondering who created the trampoline, right? And I'm just using these as examples for you guys, but the more you can understand as you're observing life and going through stuff, just like you're just gonna like know more. And you should wake up wanting to learn things. You should wake up wanting to know what birds are the ones that wake me up every morning. Whatever, right? So I hope you guys understand my point here. I'm just saying, use it to your advantage. I'm to the point where, if you guys know me and you've listened to my podcast, I'm a huge, you got to read. You got to learn stuff. Now, my most recent thought here is what I could do with AI versus reading a book. I could take AI and I could say, hey, I've got this book on my shelf. Please tell me what the 3 main takeaways are from this, and then let's talk about my life or my business, depending on what kind of book you're reading, if it's business, if it's self-help, if it's a habits book, whatever. Let's talk about this book, and I would still recommend reading the book so you've got some more context, but I'd like you to summarize this book and tell me why they wrote it, tell me the main points that I'm supposed to take away from this book. Fun fact, most books are written on one main point, and then they have to expand a bunch of shit so that way they can sell the book to us, right? I still believe in reading because it's going to help you with your literacy level and just comprehension and the way you talk and communicate. But after you read a book, or maybe you skimmed the book to get the idea, take it to ChatGPT or whatever AI tool of your choosing, talk to AI about it and say, hey, I read this book. I want your help integrating this book into my life. I want to talk about the habits it has. I want to talk about the things it says. I want to actually make my business better from this book I read. Let's analyze it together. And give me real life examples on how I can use this. Maybe I read a marketing book, right? And I want to learn how to use those marketing tactics, and I want them to be exact examples for my business. Hey, I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe you read a book on how to use Facebook, on how to post more or whatever, for your personal brand, right? Because that's what I'm working on. I would like to compare this book to my personal brand and understand how I can leverage the ideas from this book to better my personal brand, right? Boom. Now I've just had an hour-long conversation with AI, and I've actually learned more from that book because now I can understand the concepts and how they work for me. I'm sure you've all read a book, or maybe not. I'm different, so I can't assume anything. Maybe, for me, I'll read a book. I was always the type of kid in class, though, that I wanted, I didn't know. I always question my answer in a sense. I think I know the answer, but I want clarification from the teacher. So now I use the ChatGPT or the AI tools as my teacher and my clarification. So now I say, let's talk about my business and compare it and then build this together. And now I've got exact examples of how I can work in my business. Now I've just unlocked a whole nother level of learning from that book because it now compares directly to my business. And now I can understand and link this and that, and it is opening up a different level of wow. So again, whatever you're into, I always use flowers. I don't know why I always go to flowers, but if that's your thing, and you read a book about it, maybe there's a way to utilize AI to learn more, understand more, or whatever. So those are my tips for you on AI and examples on how you can use it better, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. You could, if you're listening, putter if you like to golf. maybe you could, I don't know, learn some stuff from AI and how to perfect your golf swing, right? Hey, I always hit a hook. I always hit a slice. What are the 5 most common things? You might even be able to upload a picture or videos, screenshots or something of the way that you're swinging. And AI might be able to help you analyze that and save you a lot of money versus going to a specialist. Now, it doesn't directly replace humans. That's not what I'm saying, but just keep that in mind. So, appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into the Grizzly Life podcast. If you got any value out of this, please share it with friends or family or people who you think might be able to value from it. Because without you sharing it, we don't get any more reach. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. See you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.